Okay, welcome back, and thank you for joining us. If you've just done so, thank you for staying. If we've been together from the beginning, and with us remotely is Mr. Ni Akinshiju, veteran journalist, writer, and political affairs analyst, and in studio, Mr. Joe Ibokwe, APC Lagos chieftain. Now, thank you very much, Mr. Kinami in Port Harcourt, for holding on. Go ahead now, please.
Yeah, thank you for giving me this opportunity. We, as regards to the recommendations and the reports of the EU, EU is an international organization well respected and well known all over the world. It is the European body that colonized Nigeria. So we can throw away their recommendations because they are our master and they are still part of us. Particularly in Port Harcourt, in Rivers State, we know what happened. We know how the election looked like. So we both walk around the polling booth around within our environment where election was conducted and all the names and voters were counted, listed. There was no uploaded to the INEC portal. Till late in the night, by my house, more than 10 mobile police vehicles would come, carry the girl away, the INEC staff away. By in the morning, they brought another paper and paste on the wall. We know what happened in Rivers State. I'm talking about Rivers State. I'm not talking about another state where I was not there. I'm talking about Rivers State where I was. The winner of the Rivers State election presidential is not what? It's not the best party that the Rivers people voted for. So if you have a mantra of recommendation, let us not just throw it away. We should look into it and investigate it and see where we can correct our wrong. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kinami, for that call coming out of Port Harcourt. Joe, would you like to react to some of the, you said his position that, look, without prejudice to the fact that there were 170,000
7,000.
Units.
Almost 170,000.
So one wonders how many of those were actually monitored to get a real sort of a statistical report. But, he said he can speak about where he was.
A man online spoke something about it, about our own internal observers. I mean, Nigerian observers. Where is that report? They were part of the processes, that got us.
So you're questioning why didn't they come out?
Why didn't they should? Even before the European Union.
EU will get round to it.
Let's have our own. That's why we're here. We have all these bodies all over Nigeria, human rights organizations, so many interest groups that are supposed to monitor things and then present our own case to the public.
But that wasn't done.
It has not come out. I've not seen anything.
It hasn't come out.
We have not seen anything. Outsiders came, just 110, and wrote reports. We have people in every nook and cranny, in 36 states, including Abuja, human rights bodies, that have branches all over the place. Where are their own results? Where are they? They should speak.
Okay. What do you say to
because
that?
Because if they had spoken, it would have influenced what they
Indeed. What do you say to that, Ni? The fact that we also have so many different monitoring people, but they haven't come up with a report. Surely, is it because they know the terrain better and they know that, look, you can't just be writing report on every little hitch, or I don't know. What would you say to Joe's, sort of question? Say, but we also have, there's so many bodies, and you've spoken about a foreign head of state who actually had pronounced that, look, upon my own observation, this has been a credible process. We've heard that it's been the fairest election since 1999, I believe. We've been hearing those kind of things. But if you were to speak to the question, we have observers too now. We have all these, although you've made some comments on the CSO community, what would you say to that? Where are our own observers and their reports?
Actually, a number of them issue reports immediately after the election, 2 weeks after the election.
Okay.
I recall a situation room issued, addressed a press conference. Yaga Africa also addressed.
That's right.
Yaga.
Yes, I recall that.
Yaga.
Yeah, I think an association of election monitoring, national monitoring bodies also issued a report. But their grounds really had to do with the uploads. Nobody had issues with critical engagement on the ground. Because the truth for me is that it's near difficult for an observers group to come to a conclusion on the nature of an election across the whole polling units. And that's why I said the EU report was deficient in terms of situating the methodology adopted. Because if you adopt a certain methodology and you have 110 observers, 40 of those observers are what you call long-term observers, and 54 are short-term, which means they were employed, for particular day of the election. It is not possible, and you have not told us. That's the methodology. You have not told us if it was by random sampling that you determined to be or to post particular observers to a particular polling unit. And therefore, we know that what you have adopted is a random sampling size approach. And therefore, you cannot be in all the 176,000, 177,000 polling units across the country. So whatever you are saying are actually evidence you have gathered from these randomly selected polling units. Now, that suggests to me that whatever is the content of this report, it's mere speculations and conjecture, because it's not scientifically. I am a student of empiricism. So if I'm looking at the report, I must look at it from the point of view of a social scientist. And to that extent, you must be able to tell me that what you have done is socially, scientifically established. Okay. So as the Port Harcourt man said, in his polling unit, that is how to establish a fact.
Exactly.
This is your participant engagement in this particular polling unit. Nobody will question it, But the question will now be, was the experience, you had at that polling unit, was it replicated in how many other polling units?
That indeed is the question. 1 second, please, and I beg your pardon for interrupting you. Chidi in Arepo, Ogun State. Good morning to you, and thank you for holding on.
Good morning, Mr. Yori, and the guests in the house.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you.
Yes, the truth remains that in every election, when there are losers, the losers will always complain. President Tinubu won the election squarely, based on my own understanding. The man from Port Harcourt will only say what he knows in his own polling unit. We're talking about 170-something thousand polling units in Nigeria. And somebody is giving us a report from maybe 100 persons. That cannot be justified in all the 170-something thousand units. That is my take. Good morning, and thank you for the good work.
Thank you very much, Chidi, for calling in on that. In fact, I think that's also a point that INEC itself has made, that, look, it just can't understand, how the EU has arrived at its conclusion. And as, Ni explained, when you want to do these, your statistical sort of summaries and use that to come up with a scientific conclusion, then we'll know. But none of those indices were provided, but we have to take it for what it is. And INEC is not amused. Even our own, I think our own MBA, it has spoken on the matter. So, but this is we don't want to be repeating ourselves, but it is a bit surprising that this very election that people have said And not everybody is going to agree with that, but people have said that this is the fairest election we've had since 1999. Let them look at it, and now you are coming to try and denigrate it. And the one that is probably worrying to a lot of people is that we are in the middle of the legitimate right of people, the losers, people who didn't win. That's what I mean by the losers, people who didn't win. They're exercising their right. We're in the middle of it. You now just decide that this is a fine time to, well, as our caption says, I think that slam in there, one can understand it. Mr. Oluwagbemiga in Ojodu, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Ayoju. How are you?
Thank you for calling in.
Good morning to every guest that you have invited this morning.
Sure.
I want to quickly add a few things. Number one, here in Lagos, we witnessed a whole lot of things, but yet nobody talked about it. The Mount 2 area, the Anoiba area, the Alaba, and the likes. There were many issues. There were many intimidations from the Igbos, even to the indigenes in Lagos. Nobody spoke anything about it. Nobody said anything till today. There were videos, there were pictures of molestations from people that we can actually say are sojourners in Lagos.
Well, I don't mind. You can say what you want to say, but I wanted us to sort of keep on the straight and narrow of the topic.
Thank you very much.
Yes, that's
why I said I will keep that one away. Let me speak concerning the issue right now. The issue is just consisting of a few number of people. Now, somebody said we are talking about 100,000 plus polling units. I'm very certain that the issue
177,000.
Thank you. They cannot cover a Lagos state, not to talk of a country called Nigeria. That is one. Number two. Thank you. Number two, the people we have on ground, the local observers, we have them in thousands. We have a lot of Peace Corps that came out en masse during the elections, and they have their reports. But this is the norms in this our country. Whatever these local reporters are given out as reports, nobody tends to listen to it because we have an all-edifying group of people called the European Union. You just heard Mr. Joe said, what about the AU report? What about the Commonwealth report? But because this is the way we have carried the norms several years, and something must stop this whole nonsense now. I can tell you for a fact, sir, that the president we have now have been seen by all and sundry around the world, and they know that it's not a president they can press on. They know it's not a president that can be pushed over. They know it's not a president that can be bought. And that is why EU is saying what it's saying now.
Okay.
If you ask the American observers, they will say the same thing. If you ask anyone outside there that knows that Nigeria is about to come out of the dungeon of slavery of yesteryears, they will say the same thing. But I tell you that we are watching. We are watching the judicial process. We are watching what everybody is saying. There are allies like us in this country. We will not speak until when it's time for us to speak. And when we speak, we don't speak just because we want to speak. We speak with every action embedded in us.
All right, then.
We
Thank
have
you.
chosen
I
a
want to thank you
president.
very much. I beg your
We
pardon for
believe
interrupting you, but thank you very, very much for your point of view. As to motive, Ni referred to that by way of wondering what the motive might be. Actually, that motive, I mean, Mr. Oluwagbemiga, he has provided a motive, but we have to be careful. Whereas it can be quite disappointing to be hearing from such an august body as that in this way.
Yes. There are certain things these international observers may not know. We are talking about an election where about 20 governors lost across, whether APC, PDP, Labour, they lost elections in their states. We're talking about a situation where about 7 governors couldn't get a seat to the Senate.
That's right. And we hadn't heard about those kind of things in a long while, because those tickets were automatic.
I said these people did not go to 2% of this, the 2% locations in Nigeria, or 2% of these polling units. Let me say 2%, to know what is actually going on. It was a kind of silent revolution. For anybody, we are still wondering how Achiwaju lost Lagos. Look at the pattern.
Indeed. Yeah.
Look at the pattern. President losing Katsina. The election is unfair.
President Buhari at the time.
It could never have happened.
But then
it happened.
That's the quiet revolution you were talking about.
Yes.
Let me bring
and nobody's talking about it. These are the things I expect our own reporters to bring to the fore.
Let me bring on Elder David. Good morning, sir. Elder David.
Good morning, Yorin. God bless you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you, Joe Bokwe.
Thank you. Good morning, sir.
Are you hearing me well, sir?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Thank you. What is the EU talking about? which African representative that witnessed the election in France, which is worse than that of Nigeria? What of the Germany own? Nigeria election is the best I've ever seen in this country. Anybody tell you anything, just telling you lies. Tinubu won his election. I've been contributing to this program since 2021 that Tinubu will get to and win this election. Forget about that. What of America? Trump is still contesting today that he won the election there.
That's true.
Nigerians should be very appreciative of what happened. The democracy in Nigeria today is still the best since independence. May God bless those who voted APC in 2015. I'll be telling you in this program here. Anybody talking, that person is not a Nigerian. May God forgive that person. And those churches that predict where are they today? Some people were accusing me at the time, but they hide their head in shame today. The APC government is there to stay. It will be there 2031 and hand over to another person. God will bless you, Joe Ibokwe. You are a true Igbo man.
Thank you very much for calling in.
We are all Nigerians. May God bless every one of us.
Amen.
Yes, divided we stand.
Okay, we can't stand if we're divided.
No, you made a mistake. He wanted to say together we'll stand together.
Okay, yes, of course. Well, actually, momentarily we've lost the connection with Ni Akishuju. Nevertheless, we still highly value his contribution to us. But now it has been done, Joe. They've done it. So, as our people say, we'll just be looking. I mean, they can say it because
it's just for documents.
And then democracy. Let them have their say.
Democracy, have their say.
Let them have their say.
But we know what transpired. One of the reports is here is that the Beaver, when you do an election, tell us when you are going to announce the result.
Yes, that's a major concern.
Beavers performed almost 90%. I got to the polling booth, I forgot my voter's card. The man said, "What's your name?" I just told him my name. He opened the papers and saw my name and said, "There's no need for you to go."
So he was able to access,
As the technology works.
Yes.
And he worked with frightening speed.
But this is the...
By 12 o'clock, we finished.
And
so a lot of improvement in the system. A lot of improvement. Otherwise, nobody, we are still mourning how Ajiwaju lost Lagos. It's not possible. Something happened, but I will not say it.
Indeed.
I will not say it here.
Well,
Something went wrong. I will not say it here. I know what.
Well,
I've been here for a while, so I know what happened, but I will not say it.
Indeed, because even candidate Tinubu at the time had said that, well, that's the nature of elections. That's the way he just said. Look, that's the nature of democracy.
We are in the field.
And the nature of elections. But as
I won't say it here.
You said so.
Let's keep it to ourselves. Certain things are better not said. You know, let's just leave it.
Well, we're going to have to leave it here for now. I just want to thank you, Joe, and also to thank Nia Kinshiju and indeed the callers on this for contributing to this particular conversation. What the EU was all about, what its motive was. Some callers have suggested their own motive. We won't go as far. We'll just stay with.
We're waiting for that report on the American election, though.
On the
that they will not
American
go
election.
there.
This is the whole point.
They should go there. So they should have been there to find out, to resolve the matter.
They're friends.
They can't go there.
No, they're friends, so they won't go there. And then some people have said, maybe in a jocular context or not, that since they've been doing their own elections, have they seen us going there and going to write reports that we came to observe? And so we want to bring the African Union perspective on whether we like the election or not. So there's a sense of...
We have grown that.
Yeah, it was a bit patronizing. Many people would have seen it as patronizing. Yes. No way to say it.
They have to write the report to get their grants.
It is their right. Ashwaju said that's the nature of democracy. It's their right to say what they will say, but you say what cannot be tenable, it will be contested.
Yes.
And I guess this is what has been done. It's been...
He has won.
The EU's report has been, final report has been categorically rejected by not just INEC, not just the federal government, but even by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. For what it was worth, that was the subject of our conversation today. Thank you very much for joining us. Now join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Iyori Folare. Bye-bye for now.